In 1944, a dark cloud hung over Nigeria as a beloved staple food, garri, was deemed illegal by the colonial authorities. This is the story of how a nation's dietary tradition was challenged, and the brave individuals who fought for the right to sell and consume garri. During the era of the Second World War, the British colonial government took a drastic step that deeply impacted the lives of Nigerians. In a desperate bid to fund their war efforts, they made it illegal for anyone to sell garri privately, effectively turning garri into what they called government treasure. As the British struggled against the Germans, they sought resources and funds from their colonies, including Nigeria. This led to the construction of harbors, roads, airfields, hospitals, and other infrastructure to facilitate their exploitation. Nigerian men were recruited into the army to fight in the war, but even that was not enough. To secure more resources for their war efforts, the British government imposed monetary policies and rationed food supplies, including garri. They took control of food distribution, causing long queues as people had to wait for days to buy garri. The ban had devastating consequences for communities that heavily relied on garri as a dietary staple. Families struggled to find alternative sources of sustenance, and tensions began to rise. Alamotu Pelewura and community leaders emerged, voicing their opposition to the ban. They organized protests and sought to engage with the colonial authorities to lift the restrictions on garri. She led a protest against the imposition of taxes, arguing that all of Nigeria's wealth was being taken to Britain, and therefore, Nigerian women should not be subjected to additional taxes. The British government countered by comparing the situation to British women paying taxes, but Pelewura stood firm, highlighting the economic exploitation of Nigeria by Britain. In response to Pelewura's protest and the market boycott she organized, the British government and security agents declared war on those who sold garri privately. However, Nigerians proved their resourcefulness and resilience. People sneaked into government stores to steal garri and sell it in private, creating a black market for the commodity. Despite the government's attempts to suppress the private sale of garri, they found it difficult to eliminate the black market entirely. They even tried to bribe Alamotu Pelewura to support their cause, but she remained steadfast, refusing to compromise her principles. After months of relentless efforts, the ban on garri was eventually lifted. Nigerians celebrated this victory, not just for their right to sell and consume garri but also as a symbol of their resilience and unity. The story of the garri ban of 1944 serves as a reminder of the strength of Nigerian culture and the determination of its people to preserve their traditions. Garri, once forbidden, continues to be a beloved and integral part of Nigerian cuisine and identity. So, the next time you see garri, remember the significance it held during that historic period. It symbolizes the resilience and resourcefulness of the Nigerian people in the face of adversity, standing up against unjust policies and defending their rights. Show respect for the history and struggle behind this beloved staple food in Nigeria. This video was brought to you by Inspire You Today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful stories.